Hi, good afternoon. Welcome, everyone. Okay, first of all, I'm sorry that currently my PC camera is not working at the moment. My name is Marianne, and I'm from UTAR. I am also the Kuala Lumpur Engineering Science Fair Secretariat. I would like to welcome you to today's webinar with title How to Surf Safely Without Being Eaten by Sharks, Internet Security 101. Okay, just a little housekeeping before we get started. If you have any question during the presentation, please type after the webinar. I will bring it up during the time for Q&A at the end. So for your information, we are streaming this webinar live on our Kuala Lumpur Engineering Science Fair Facebook. So please help us to like and share this video. And now, I would like to introduce our today's speaker, Ms. Tan Lyk Yin. Ms. Tan is a lecturer at the Department of Computer and Communication Technology, Faculty of Information and Communication Technology, University Tunku Abdul Rahman. She is actively conducting IT-related webinar and workshop for teachers, students, and the public. So without further ado, I will turn the time over to Ms. Tan.
Hello everyone, my name is Tan Lyk Yin. I'm from UTAR FICT. First of all, I would like to say thank you to the organizer for giving me this opportunity to talk about the internet security in this event. So without any delay, let's start. Basically, today we will cover about how to surf safely without being eaten by sharks, Internet Security 101. You might be confusing what actually these titles are related. Basically, how to is very direct. It's basically how to surf safely is surf the internet safely. Without being eaten actually is referring to without being attacked by shark is by bad people. Internet security is pretty straightforward, and we have 101, which is stand for introductory. So today's topic, we will talk about how to surf the internet without being attacked by bad people. Internet security introductory. There's another word for internet security, which is cyber security. They are referring to the same thing. Another term which we'll be using frequently is cyber attack. It is a kind of attack that happen in the internet, attempt to expose, to destroy, to steal, or to gain the unauthorized access to certain asset. And this is today's plan. Why internet security is important, why do the hacker commits cyber attack, what to do to serve the internet safely, and I will demonstrate to you some of the technique to perform. Can hack your account very easily. So let's come into the very first part of today's topic, why it is so important for us to know about cyber security. It seems like I study mathematics because I know the mathematics is important in our daily life, and we are using internet every day too. So it's important for us to understand the cyber security as well. I would like to share with you some of the impact of cyber attack. So basically, the first example is Yahoo, a web service company that once worth more than 100 billion in year 2001. However, in year 2013 and year 2014, Yahoo was attacked and caused data breach. It impacted 3 billions of the accounts. The data that are being leaked are email address, name, date of birth, telephone number, and encrypted password of their user. At the end, Yahoo was sold to Verizon with 4.48 billion in year 2007. Another example is Facebook. In April 2019, Facebook disclosed a massive data breach that affected information of roughly 450 million accounts. The data was including the account's name, ID, friend list, location check-ins, and comments. Actually, cyber attack also impacting economy of a country. The South Africa Banking Risk Information Center announced that South Africa lost 157 million annually to cyber attack. They are highly targeted by the hacker because they can't defend themselves. Their technology development is not as fast as the other country. So the hacker know their infrastructure and system are weak. I have a website over here which you can see some of the history that happened in the past other than the one that I have talked just now, which is basically this website over here. He actually showed up the very first attack from the bottom, 2004, which happened on AOL, until the recent one, 2020. So basically, you can see that from 2000, we might only see once or twice of the attack. But as the technology advances, everyone can surf the internet easily. We can learn the knowledge from the internet easily, and this will create many people able to learn some of the hacking skill from the internet as well. This is the reason why the attack is actually increasing every year. If you click inside some of these websites, you are able to see the details, the news, and any information about it also including in this website. So when we talk about the loss of billions and millions, how do they actually calculate the loss? It is actually categorized into 6 types of loss. The first one is investigation costs. The cost that they use to investigate how could this happen, how much money have lost, how to prevent it in the future, how to communicate with the customer. After that, they have the verification costs, the cost to check their system. And then they have the restoration costs, the cost to put back the system online so that they can continue their business. And then we have the compensate cost, the cost that to compensate the affected user. Do you know Nintendo Switch? They are famous with Pokemon, Animal Crossing, and recently the Monster Hunt Rise. In the past, there's a cyber attack happened on the Nintendo network. Some of the users receiving bills from their credit card because the hacker logged in into their account and purchased the game to play. So the Nintendo will need to compensate the loss of their user. Other than that, we also have the value of loss, which will caused by the company when it is performing the investigation, verification, restoration after an attack. They can't run their business online. And last but not least is the future loss. Oops. Oops. So basically for the future loss is like I have my business and I have something bad happen in my company, so you will lose in confidence when you want to purchase or use any service from my company. So this is the future loss. So why do the hacker want to do this? There's many different kind of the reason, and today we will be talk about 3 reasons. The very first reason is organizations. They are hired by a company to attack their competitors in order to create loss for them. Another reason is for money. After they hack the data, they will sell this data to the third party for money. For example, after the attacker hacked a database and they got the customer information, the attacker will sell this information into the black market. The scammer will actually purchase this information and use this information to scam the victims. So how do they scam the victim? They will pretend to be an administrative personnel, call from the hospital, and inform the victim that his or her family is now in the hospital emergency department because of an accident. Since the scammer will have all of your personal information like name, IC, and etc., it will be easy for them to convince you and believe that they are who they claim for. The scammer will then instruct the victim to bank in certain amount of the money to the bank account, or else no surgery will be operated by the hospital to save the family member's life. Or they will be pretending to be an income tax officer. The scammer will inform you that someone has used your identity to register a company and that company did not pay for tax. So you have to pay the money or else you will be listed into the bankruptcy list. Many of these cases can be avoided. However, the scammer is still success in getting money from the victims. It is because of panic. When the victim is scared, even if the victim managed to take in what is being said, but the information is not being processed properly. In most of the time, they will just follow the instruction to bank in the money to the scammer. And last but not least, why do they why do they want to do this? Is because of it is their interest. For example, those games, movies, songs that you're supposed to purchase before you can watch, listen, or play. However, the hacker hacked them from the original source and make them available in the internet for free. Actually, it is risky. For example, if the victim downloaded a software from an unknown host in the internet, then he ran and installed the software, but he have no idea what is programmed inside the software. It might contain a malware like virus or worm. If they install the software, it means that they also install this malware into their computer automatically. So we should download stuff from the trusted source or the official website. So now you already have an idea what is a cyber attack and what it will cause to their organization or even to a country. To sum up the first part of today's topic, in general, cyber attack is a malicious attempt by an individual or an organization to breach the information system of another individual or organization. Usually the attacker will seek some type of benefits from the attack. While the next part will look into how to surf the internet safely without being attacked by the hacker. The very first example we are going to discuss is basically when you are logged in or access to the internet by using a public terminal or shared computer. The public terminal that we are talking about is basically the device that other than you, the other people, whether known or unknown, they also can use it to access to the internet. For example, the shared computer in your school, in the hotel or hostel, in a library, or even in a cyber cafe. The common mistake of using a public terminal to access the internet is you forgot to log out. Usually, we will close the web browser after we want to leave, but actually our login sessions is still active in the computer. So the next person who used the computer will be able to access the site that you are logged on earlier. So always remember to log out, but it isn't safe yet. The web browser have a function to remember your username and password. If you log out and previously you save your username and password in the web browser, other people will still be able to access to your account because the username and password is there in the web browser caches. So you should also clean the web browser data. This option is actually available in all of the web browser. But even though you remember to log out and clean the browsing data, it does not mean that you are safe because there might be a pre-installed malware in the computer. You does not know that who had used the computer before and what is the software that is installed inside the public computer. For example, a keylogger. Keylogger is basically an application which will record whatever you have typed by using a keyboard. So how do you protect yourself from this pre-installed malware is you can install a key encryption software. So whatever you have typed, it will be encrypted. For example, you have typed ABC, the software will help you to encrypt into 1, 2, 3. So the other people who are reading the logs, they won't be able to know your password. Or you can install an anti-malware program to scan the computer before proceed to key in your username and password. If in a situation that you can't install anything, but you still can access to the internet and use the online keyboard. If you open up a web browser, search for online keyboard, there will be a lot of them and they are free for use. So why do the online keyboard is useful in this case is because of instead of typing your username and password on a physical keyboard, you click on your username and password by using an online keyboard. So the keylogger won't be able to capture what you have typed because you are using the online version. Or you also have some special technique, but if you feel very troublesome, the best and easiest way is never log in into any website in a public computer if you have a choice. So I have a demo over here. I can show you how the keylogger works. I have a keylogger installed in my virtual machine. So basically, if I open it up, by default is empty. So in order to show you, I open a notepad in here. I'm going to type the username and password in the notepad. So when I click start monitor in my keylogger, over here I type username, let's say hello world, password, let's say goodbye world, and I stop monitor. Over here have a log. If I scroll down, you can actually see the username, shift, spacebar, shift, hello, spacebar, shift, world, and password is in this line. So for here, you are actually seeing the keylogger on the screen, but actually I can make it hidden. If I click hide, then no people will know that the keylogger is actually inside this computer, unless the person actually did some scanning or he understand very well what is happening in the computer. You can't even get the keylogger in the task manager because the name of the process over here, I can actually change it into something else. I can modify the process name. So even though you go to the list in the task manager, you won't be able to know that whether this particular exe is keylogger or not. You won't be able to know that. So the best way is do not log in into any sensitive website, like for example your social media or bank account that is very important. Do not log in into any bank account by using any public terminal. The next one will be the permission related. For example, in Facebook, there are many famous applications that you can use like OMG, LOL, name tags that they will let you to do some quiz and then give you some result like today, what is your luck, who is your future girlfriend or boyfriend, and etc. When you want to play it, it will actually ask you to grant them some of the permission. Many users grant the permissions to the application without checking what has been requested by the application. For example, this application that created for showcase purpose is asking the permission to access your basic information like name, picture, gender, network, user ID, friend list, and any other information that you have made it public. It also can send an email on behalf of you. It can post something onto your wall on behalf of you, and it can access your data anytime and anywhere. So some of the games that are available in Facebook, I wonder how many of you really will read the word written in the game before you click the play now button. And this is only a brief description. If you open up an application, you click on this icon, he actually will lead you to the developer privacy policy. If you click inside, he will list out a very long list of what he will do to your access. And I hope if you want to play this kind of application, no matter it's in Facebook or any other place, please read the terms and conditions before you proceed to give him the access. So you might think that it's not important. Why should I care? I just give the permission. It's nothing harm. Since my information, I make it public, it doesn't matter at all. But actually, it is a method. When you give an access to a bad application, the bad application can create a fake account of you. Then what do? They will use this fake account to add all of your friends in your friend list, and now the hacker or the scammer or the attacker actually connected to your friend. And you may think that it will only impacting my friend. It's not my problem, right? But it actually not. I have a issue from my friends. So on the left hand side we have a scammer, right hand side we have a victims. Basically, the scammer created a new account of someone else and then created and then send the friend request to the victims, which is my friend. Without any doubt, my friend accepted this friend request. And then what will happen next is the scammer will tell my friend that recently I have attended a competition. I need your vote. It's very simple to vote me. You just need to give me your phone number. Then it's done. So my friend actually gave the phone number to this scammer because he believed that this is her friend, so it doesn't matter for her. But after that, she received a PIN code. Then the scammer will say, this PIN code is actually a proof to prove that you vote for me. Can you give me the PIN code? And without any doubt, she gave the PIN code to the scammer. And just right after she gave the PIN code, her phone was charged for 200 ringgit because this code is actually a kind of the fund transfer available by using a mobile phone. So after he lost for 200 ringgit, he know that this is actually a scammer. Even though she logged the police report, it's nothing she can do because she is the one that gave the pin to the scammer. She need to bear the responsible by herself. So the money is gone. So read the permission to be given before allow it to the application, or do not use the app at all. You don't have to risk your personal information in order to gain a few moments of the happiness. If you think that is not related to you because you never give access to any of the apps in the social media, however, your friends might give the access. The application still able to access your public information through your friends because you are on his friend list. So to avoid that, you should check your setting of your social media, especially the privacy setting. You can change it into only the friend can see your information, but the public cannot see at all. Next upcoming is receiving a suspicious email. So when you receive an email, like SMS or even a message from a suspicious source, for example, this email was sent to inform the user that an unknown person withdraw certain amount of money from his bank account. Please click the link below to verify the user personal information. If the user fill in his personal information in the given link, then that means it's gone. Your account will be hijacked very soon. So if you receive this kind of email but you doesn't sure about whether this is from the official company, you can always call to the bank and verify the message with their customer service. The best is do not click on any link, especially when you receive the email from unknown source or even the message from the Facebook or whatever social media. Next upcoming is our password related. When your password is very simple, like for example, you set in 11111, or let's say you use a date of birth, your name, your birth cert number, phone number, IC of yourself, your family members, your beloved friends, even your idols. I wonder how many of you are using this information as your password. If you are using them, please change later because it is very easy to guess by the other people. As long as I has your public access, I will be able to know that what will be the common word that you will be using for your username and password. If you think that use this kind of password will ease you to remember about the password so you won't forget it, you actually can make it become complicated. Like for example, I love UTAR. I love UTAR in here. If you see over here, this O, I change it to 0. It's not O anymore. This is actually a 0. And E, I modify become 3. A, I modify into alias. Then I combine together with cap lock on and small cap. So this kind of password will actually make everything complicated. And the hacker will take a very long time to hack your account if they want to. Other than that, do not use the same password for different platform. Let's say one of your account is hacked. The hacker will try to use the same username and password in other platform of yours. So do not reuse it. I can show you some of the example on how actually I can guess your password easily. I have created a local website in here, so this is only available locally in my network. You guys can't access to my website from the internet. So username is root, while the password, let's say I put something. If I click submit, I will be logged in successfully. If I click back, I type root again, but the password is something else. I click submit. It will be wrong username and password. So how do I hack back my account? In this case, I'm using an operating system called Kali Linux. It is very famous among us who are working on the cybersecurity side. So basically, I have a document in my computer of this virtual machine. When I open up the password, it will contain all of the combination of the password, possible combination of the password. That's why I said do not use those common word as your password, because if I can access to your public account, I can easily generate these password sheets, so I can use my program to guess your password instead of I guessing them one by one. So I have this password list. Basically, it's not complete, but it's okay. I just want to show you how can I hack. So what can I type is basically in here. There are many different kind of the program I can use to crack the username and password, but this is the easiest one that I am using is Hydra. I know my username is password. I know my username is root. So this is same like I know your Facebook login is actually your email account. Then I don't know your password, but I have a list of password in my computer that I can use it to guess. So I host my own website in my own IP address. I know that this website is posting a form by using a HTTP. I also know that this is the document that will check my username and password. I also know that these are the variables that I'm going to key in, which is the root and the password. If I log in incorrectly, I will get this notification. So I have done with all of the field. If I press enter, he will actually try out the password for me one by one by using the list that I have shown you just now. Can you stop contouring my screen? So now he got my user and password. So the host, this is my own IP, the private IP address. My username is root. My password is 123456. So it only takes few seconds. And this is only when I understand the website very well, because this is the website that I create by myself. I didn't implement any of the security measurement. I didn't implement that. That's why I know that where is the weaknesses. In reality, it will be difficult for us to use a program to hack a username and password. But I said it is difficult. It didn't mean that it is impossible. So let's come to here. I can guess my password very easily. And that's why make your password complicated if it is possible. So after that, let's come into the posting information in the social media. Basically, we all want to share our happiness in our daily life, and we always check in any social media. But actually, when you check in your social media, you are actually telling the people that, hey, I'm not at home now. As you know, thief always visit the house when the house owner is not around. If you really want to share your happiness, you can always check in later, or you can check your setting so that only people on your friend list can see your check-in detail. But the best option is just don't share it, or you can share it later. Another one is when you want to post the sensitive information in any social media, like for example, your credit card informations. After so many years, finally you got your very first credit card and you are very excited. You take a photo of the front and behind the credit card and post it in the social media. After a while, you receive a very long bill, because with the information on a credit card, the people can use them to purchase anything from the online store. So think before you post. Or if you really want to post this kind of happiness in your social media, at least you conceal the sensitive information. There are some cases that happening on the people, especially the YouTubers. They snap some of the video that recorded their surrounding housing area without consulting the neighborhood. At the end, people or even the stalker or attacker hanging around their housing area because they know that you are staying there. So always think before you share anything on the social media, or at least conceal some of the sensitive information. Let's sum up how can you surf the internet safely without becoming a target of the scammer or hacker. First of all, remember to log out. Remember to clear the browsing data. Remember to use this kind of the technique to secure your username and password if you are using a public computer. If best is, do not use a public computer or a shared computer. If you want to grant the permission, you need to read through the terms and conditions first, but the best is still do not grant the permission to any application. Do not react to suspicious email, messages, or SMS or whatsoever. Use complicated password combination. Check the social media privacy setting. Do not reuse the same password in different platforms. You can check in later, or the best is do not check in at all. You can conceal some of the sensitive information before you posting it into any of your social media. And last but not least, think before you post. Actually, the company or even the social media or even YouTube or whatsoever, they have some of the mechanism to help you to secure your account. So don't be worried. Uh, the the one that frequently used by us is actually two authentication factor. It is a method to confirm a user claims identity by using a combination of two different methods. For example, when we want to withdraw some money, we have the ATM card. ATM card is the first authentication, while the second authentication will be the PIN code. Let's say I'm using Boost Pay to pay the money. I log in into my account is the first authentication. PIN code that I have to type is the second authentication. Even online banking transaction, we need to log in the first authentication and we will receive a one-time password by using the SMS. This one will be the second authentication. For Facebook, also will have this function. After you log in, if the Facebook server detect that the login is actually not the device that you always use, it's a brand new device that never logged in into your account before, then he will trigger an alert to you. And in most cases, he will actually deny the access unless you verify that this device is actually yours. Then he will proceed to allow you to access to the Facebook. So though this can actually be activated in your security and login part, then use two-factor authentication. You can click edit to modify the configuration inside. But no matter how, I would like to say nothing is secure on the internet. When we are connected to the internet, we are basically connected to the whole world, and the whole world is connected to us. Although the companies try their best to implement different kind of the security options for us to prevent any unauthorized access, but not all of us also have this kind of knowledge. Or we think that it is not important, where will become so lucky, hacker will not attack me. But actually, when something bad happen on us, then we will regret why we didn't do our best to prevent it from happening. So prevention is better than cure. If unluckily you are now targeted by a scammer or a hacker, do not scare because you are not alone. You can always discuss with the surrounding people who are close to you, get their suggestion on what to do next. Or you can search online what to do next. Or you can go to the police station to get the assistance from the police officer. Or you can learn the knowledge from UTAR FICT before everything is too late. So I would like to take this opportunity to introduce you this program, Bachelor of Information Technology, Communication and Networking. This program prepares the student to very good in the networking and communication system, and this is including cybersecurity. In addition, the program will also equip the student for their professional networking certificates like CCNA and HCDA. We also offer some of the other program. If you are interested, feel free to access to fict.utar.edu.my. So today, we have learned about why the internet security is so important. Why do the hacker commit cyber attack, and what to do to serve the internet safely. And now we come into the Q&A sections. I believe you can type the questions on the chat. While waiting you for your question, I received some of the question already when the registration is started. So I have 6 of the question that I have received. The very first question is basic safety for a web user. I already explained just now. There's a lot of things that you can do, like make the password complicated, check your privacy setting in any social media or any website that you have a login account, and etc. The second question, how to detect if the strangers you are talking to online is safe or dangerous. For this, there is nowhere to detect. Same like you will be no idea whether the stranger you met in reality they are safe or not, even though the people that you know in the reality they might be dangerous as well. See, in reality you also cannot define. How can you define the stranger that you are talking online is safe or dangerous? There's no way to do that. If number third question is, it is necessary to have VPN? No, it is not necessary to have a VPN unless you need the VPN to for certain purpose. Like for example, you like to play games and the game server is located in Japan server. But the connection from Malaysia to Japan, it might be rerouted to very far, so that the latency is very high, means that you have some delay. Then you can use this VPN to reroute your traffic to somewhere else and directly go to the Japan. Then it will reduce your latency, so it will be less delay compared to the default one. Is VPN really safe? I would say no. It depends on which VPN service you have subscribed. There's a lot of VPN service that provided by the service provider. You can actually go through and find the VPN service provider that you think it is safe. But again, you have no idea what is happening behind the network. It's very complicated and I can't explain that in this webinar. So if you are interested, welcome to UTAR FICT. Number 5, need to download apps for this webinar? No, because I'm not going to teach you how to hack, right? Number 6, what sharks are most likely to attack? I would like to say depends on your luck, because by default most of the sharks, I mean might be all of the sharks, will like to attack. Depends on the target and their status. If they are hungry and you are there, they will just attack you. But if they're full, doesn't want to eat any meal anymore, but who knows, they want to have some snack. So it's very depending on the shark, but not us. To prevent yourself from being eaten by shark, is the best way is do not go to swim in the sea. So do you have any other question?
Yeah, Miss Tan, I think there's a few questions posted in our chat box. I think the one that I can see is from JC, Miss JC Tang. Okay, this one basically is for the organizer. So she's asking whether they can get the recording of today's session. Yes, they can always visit our Kuala Lumpur Engineering Science Fair Facebook. You can get the recording of today's webinar from our Facebook. And then from Sudash Sharnan, I hope I pronounced correctly. Sudash is asking what is VPN, Miss Tan?
VPN is virtual private network, so it's basically create a private network between you and the destinations. like for example, the other people outside the private network that you have connected, they won't be able to capture whatever you have sent to the destination. But actually, it's very complicated, and I don't think I can explain everything during this short period.
All right. Thank you, Miss Tan.
You're
And
welcome.
then from Paul Naden, his
Mhm.
his comment was, Miss, the people who created the virus is the same people create the
Mhm.
antivirus. Do you agree with that, Miss Tan?
I don't know. I don't know.
All
Who
right.
knows?
Who knows? True, true. We never know. Okay. So, okay, while waiting for the others, let me check through our Facebook if there's any question from our participant.
Yeah,
So,
sure.
for those who like to ask Miss Tan any question, you can start to type your question in the chat box. All right. Okay, we can see here most of our participants. Thanks you for the info shared. And then, okay, we have this one question from Ethan. Is there a sign in and sign? Okay, there is. We will share the sign in and sign up form with you in the chat box later. Ethan, thank you. And then, okay, just now there's a question about the webinar, right? So we'd like to let you know that this webinar, it's not only streamed in our KLESF Facebook, it's also in Minggu Sains Negara 2021 platform. So you can watch the video again in the platform that I just told you. Okay. All right. So we wait for a few minutes, Miss Tan, if there's any question, yeah?
Hmm.
Hmm. Thank you for sharing. So for our participants, please check at the chat box. Our secretariat has posted the sign in and sign out form for you to fill up. And there is also a feedback form. We hope that you can help us to fill up the feedback form so that we can use your feedback for us to improve our future webinar. Okay. So there's no other question here. Just now, sorry. Can people? Okay, Miss Tan. Sorry.
Hmm.
There's one question
Mhm.
I received from So Shiki. She or he is asking, can people hack when you scan any QR code?
Basically, no. Unless after you scan the QR code, if you come up with a URL and you click inside the URL, then it will be possible.
Oh, okay. So currently can be safe because currently wherever we go, we have to scan the QR code, right?
Yeah, through the apps, right? Like my
Yes,
Sajatara.
yes, yes, yes. True.
Hmm.
Okay, so it should be safe. Okay. All right, participant, if you have any other question, okay. Okay, Sudharshan, what to type? Oh, sorry, what to type in attendance, sign in and or sign out? Okay, never mind. That one we'll explain later. Okay. Okay. So let me see if there's any question in Facebook. Okay. So from JC, how about online games? Hmm. How
What?
about the online games?
Yeah, what do you mean by online game? I mean
Yes.
like online game then.
JC, can you be specific? Oh, okay. Her question is it
Oh,
safe to play those games like Roblox online?
I don't know what is Roblox online, but if you afraid of the online game, whether they are trying to get your personal informations, you can actually create another email specifically for games only. So that email, you should not insert any of your personal information. Whatever games that you play, you can use that email account. So even though that email account is being hacked, it's nothing lost for you because that is not your personal account.
All right. Okay.
You are welcome.
So far we have no question from the Facebook and from the MSN platform.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So for our participant here, if you have any other question, if in future that you like to check with Miss Tan anything related to today's webinar, you can always send her an email. It is in our screen now. Any Q&A, you can send to Miss Tan at tanly@utar.edu.my, or you can also post your question in our Facebook. We will forward it later for Miss Tan for her to revert back. Okay. So if there's no other further questions here, okay. I think Miss Tan, basically you have covered all the questions posted by our participant today.
Mm-hmm.
So if there's anything that they will ask in future, if we receive any question in our email or Facebook, we will direct it to you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Sure.
So before we end the session, I would like to thank you, Miss Tan, for this great sharing. So I believe this sharing would be an eye-opening to all of us. And okay, for our participant, before we end this session today, our secretariat will post the feedback form in the chat box. So kindly help us to fill up after this webinar. And then we also appreciate your time for being here with us. And before we end this session, we would like to take a screenshot of this group photo. If you don't mind, please, everyone in the Zoom, turn on your camera so that we can take a group photo with Miss Tan today.